All right, thank you everyone for checking out this video. In the previous video, we went over how to set up our VPC. In this video, we're going to set up our EC2 instance to connect to that VPC. And what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to close X out of that. We're going to go right and search, go to our EC2 area. What we're going to do is we're going to go into our search bar, type in EC2, and usually I use VPC EC2s a lot, so I'll just add it to our favorites. And what it does when we add it to our favorites, it shows right here on our platform. So all we gotta do is click on it. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on EC2. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and we have right now currently we have no EC2s running inside this in this VPC as of yet. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and we're going to go to instances, EC2 instances right here. Well, we go to instances, or you could launch a VPC, launch a instance right here. But I always go to instances, and I'll go to launch instance. It doesn't matter which way you do it. So what we're going to do, we're going to select the Amazon AMI. And if you're using free tier, you want to stick with T2 Micro, and because that's staying within free tier, which is the T2 Micro. What I'm going to do, I'm going to select T3, and that's because it gives you much better it gives you much better internet speeds. But if you are using this as a test lab, you're still using free tier, it's recommended that you stay in the T2 micro area. All right, so we're going to select the T3 micro. We're going to go ahead and click configurations. All right, so this basically tells us how many instances that we wish to deploy at a time. We just want to do one. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go here to networks. We're going to select our VPC. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to select our VPC, our subnet 1. And right now you see where it says it automatically is grabbed. It's automatically going to grab a public IP address. If you don't want it to have a public IP address, all you got to do is click on this drop down, click on this box right here, and click disabled. But by default, we have it to be set to automatically grab one, so we're good there. Host name, we can select the host name, and have it based by IP or resource name or whatever. So I'll just do it by resource name. It really, honestly, it doesn't really matter how we do it. How do you want the host name set up? And then other than that, we pretty much are good to go. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and add a little bash script here. So what I want to do, I want to add in a few things. So what we're going to do, we're going to set up a quick little batch script. I mean, not a batch script, but this is a more like a what is it? This is more like a bootstrap script. I'm sorry, I'm just all over the place right now. So we're gonna go ahead and just do a bootstrap script real quick, and we'll cover this more in detail. But the main thing is you're basically gonna be running you're basically running a script that's going to install certain things. So that's going to install certain applications on the instance as it's booting up. So right now we're going to do basically a pound exclamation bin bash. What we're going to do, we're going to do a yum-y update. And Linux AMIs, Amazon Linux AMIs, they use the Yum package management utility. So you can basically, if you're a lover of Red Hat and Ubuntu, you're gonna feel like you're right at home with the Amazon Linux AMI. And what I'm doing is I'm just basically doing a Yum update, doing a Yum install, Yum-y install httpd. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we're going to create our index.html file. You're going to put that, and it always goes in the var www html directory. So we need to put that there. HTML, and we want to go ahead and echo. I want to basically put some content in there, so I'm going to do an echo, do hello world, and I'm going to push that into our index.html file. All right, so now I'm going to do a crown, no, chow. I think it's chow. Yeah, chow. And I'm going to do a -r, and I'll make this recursive, and I want to basically give the ownership of, that's for Apache, right? Yep. Do the ownership of our var. Basically, I'm basically making everything in our, I'm going to do it like this. Everything in our HTML directory, I want to make it so that everything is owned by Apache. And for those who are new to Linux, HTTPD basically means you're installing an Apache web server. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do a system control. I'm going to start Apache, because by default Apache is usually not started. It doesn't start itself by default. So we're going to basically make sure it's installed. We're going to enable it so that if the machine is rebooted, it automatically turns on. So pretty much that's pretty much it. That's pretty much all we need to do. So now all we need to do is I need to make sure that for one is correct. Okay. Like this is where you need to double check, triple check. All right, so everything looks good. So we're gonna go ahead and click on add storage. You can add a storage here. You can actually encrypt it if you wish to do so. You can have it so Amazon encrypts your EBS volumes for you. You can add storage here. Just remember, with the more storage you add, the more money that you're going to pay. And you can have it so that the EC2 instance, when it's deleted, it terminates this EBS volume is destroyed with it. You can uncheck that if you do not want the EBS volume to be removed after the EC2 instance is deleted. You can leave that checked if you do. You can add a file system if you wish to do so, but make sure that the file system, like EFS or FSX or whatever, they're both in the same region as the EC2 instance. As far as right now, our EC2 instance is in Oregon. So if you want to set up a file system, you want to make sure EFS or something like that. You want to make sure that it's in the Oregon region as well. Our tags, out of all, it's funny how the VPC they added tags automatically, but in the EC2 instance they don't. So we're gonna go ahead and we're going to basically give this a name. We're gonna call this our lab. We'll call it EC2 lab 1. So this is our lab 1 EC2. And now we go into how to connect to our EC2, which is through the security group. So what we're going to do, we're going to create a new security group. And we're going to name this, what we want to name it. Let's name it, I'll call it EC2 lab 1 SG. In the description, I'm going to do the same. And then what we're going to do, we already have port SSH open to the world. Then you want to make sure you do that by, you just want to make sure you do that by, this is just a test. You don't want to basically have your EC2 instance open to the world, because that could cause problems that you could be opening yourself up to more attacks. So a safe way to do it, if you're doing it in a dev environment, doing it at a job, is click on this little drop down area right here and click on my IP address. And if you wanted, and the reason why you want to do that, because it will automatically populate this area with your public IP address to your work environment, and it will only allow your work environment to connect to this EC2 instance. Now, I'm not going to do it because I don't want my public IP being shown, so we're going to go ahead and just leave it open to the world, because this EC2 instance is not going to be open for a very long time. It's not going to be up for a very long time anyway. So we're going to click add, and we're going to add HTTP, because we basically are about to install a web server, and we need to have it so that the EC2 instance can be accessible from the over port 80. And once again, you can pretty much do the same thing. If you want to be the only one to access this, just click on this, click on my IP address, and it'll go ahead and let you be the only person that accesses it, not nobody else. Pretty much that's it. And how security groups work, they're stateful. So that means that whatever you open up here on the inbound is going to be the same for the outbound. So let's go. So let's go ahead and click review and launch. And then once you look through your, and it gives you all these warnings, let you know that I picked a instance that was not EC2, that was not free tier eligible, so that's fine. I already know that. And then let's do, and then also they talk about giving you security improvements where you don't want to have your EC2 instance proved open to the world. That's fine. I already know that. Like I said, this is a lab. So we're going to click launch, and we do not have a key pair. So we're going to go ahead and create a new one. And what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and name it. I'm going to call this KP AWS Lab 1 key. We're going to download it. And then we're going to launch our EC2 instance. All right, so we hit view. So right now it's being launched. And then we go ahead and click view our instance. And what we'll do, we'll wait till the instance comes online. All right, so it shouldn't take long for this to spin up. All right, so in the meantime, you got your key pair. I got mine's already in my going directly to my AWS key folders. These are all my lab keys and things like that I do. And then what we want to do, we also want to go ahead, because a lot of times PIM keys do not work. So we're going to go ahead and go in go into our PuTTY. We'll open PuTTY, and then we're going to open PuTTY Gen. So we're going to we're going to load our key. We're going to go ahead and go to our PIM key. Go to our PIM key that we just created, which is this one, our KP AWS Lab 1. We're going to put it into our PuTTY Gen. And what we're going to do, we're going to save it as a private key. And what I'm going to do, I'm basically going to go back to all so I get the name of it. So I make sure the name is, it's good to go. And I'm going to name this PPK. Actually, I'll just leave it. Let's put no name there because it's going to automatically populate the .ppk because it's a private key. All right, so we'll go ahead and click save. And once we do that, you see that it automatically it went ahead and populated our key pair there. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna go in, now our EC2 instance should be ready to go by now. Yep, it's ready to go. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna go into our EC2 instance. We're gonna get the public IP. All right, so we got the public IP. Just click this little box right here to copy it. And what we should do, if you want to access the instance, let's go ahead and open up your PuTTY. Put the IP address name there, the IP address there, or you can put the host name, the DNS name, whichever one you wish to use. And then you want to go to where it says SSH, click on the little plus button, click on auth. I like doing allow agent forwarding because just in case you need to jump from one box to another, it will automatically forward your key. Then we're going to click browse. And like I said, mine's automatically opens up to my directory where my lab keys are. And we go ahead and we'll go ahead and click AWS lab key. and then go back to sessions. What I'm going to do, I'm going to keep our lab, AWS lab 1. I'm going to basically make a session here so I can save it. So it keeps it right there. That's if you want to keep your saved sessions, this is how you do it. Normally what I do is I try to always do this without the IP, so that just in case I'm going to be using instances that have similar IP, that's going to be using the similar key pair, that I have the key pair already there, and all I got to do is enter the IP. So now just enter the IP, and then we click open, and you're going to get this warning message. You're always going to get it. And there you go. We're connecting to our EC2 instance. Now, if you want to log in, all you gotta do is type in EC2-user, and you're inside the instance. And one way we could check if we could connect outbound is basically do ping. Let's do Google 8.8.8.8. We're able to ping Google, and let's go ahead and check to make sure our Apache server is installed, and is running. So you do system control status HTTPD, and we see that our Apache is running. And if we go back, if we go ahead and we open the public, open our basically go out here, click on open address, and you click open in a new tab. If it errors out, all what you have to do is just remove the S from HTTPS, because we do not have HTTPS open to the world. I mean, so it's going to most likely error out. But if you want to stop that, just go ahead and remove that, and there you go. We're connecting to our instance. It says hello world, and that's pretty much it. So right now we have access to our EC2 instance. We are able to create our VPC in the previous video. We was able to add our EC2 instance to our favorites, so that if we ever need to go straight to it again, which we will in future videos, we'll be able to do so. So other than that, I want to thank you guys for checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.